Creating realistic terrain can immerse your players in Dungeons and Dragons into a more engaging world. And today we're going to show you how to create some realistic terrain. But before we do that, make sure you like and follow. I'm Brian DeLuca, and this is Make or Build It. With 3D printing, you could create some really amazing terrains for your games of Dungeons and Dragons, or even if you're just into miniature building. With 3D printing, customizing your terrain pieces has become easier than ever, and we're going to show you how to create some realistic looking terrain pieces. This one sort of has the vibe of Castle Grayskull from He-Man, if you remember that. Maybe I'm dating myself. And we're going to walk you through everything. The differences between an FDM printer and a resin printer, painting, and actually adding electronics to your terrain to make it look even more realistic. Now let's talk about printing first. For most terrain pieces, I use FDM printers, and that's what we use to create this portal. In this case, I use the Bamboo Labs X1 Carbon, but if you're printing something with a lot of details, such as a castle wall, I would probably recommend using a resin printer, such as the Elegoo Saturn. But what makes you choose one type of printer, such as FDM, over resin? Let's discuss both printers. Resin printing is known for high precision and great detail, making it ideal for intricate terrain pieces such as castles or arenas, or things like chests or wardrobes, things that you may have in your setting. Resin printers can capture the fine detail, perfect for intricate terrain features like cobblestone streets, detailed runes, or foliage. Resin prints generally have smoother surfaces than FDM prints. Resin printers can handle complex geometries and small features that might be challenging for FDM printers. But there are two cons, in my opinion, to resin printing for terrain pieces. Most resin printers have a smaller bed, which don't make it ideal for terrain printing because you're usually printing bigger, larger pieces. Now, resin printing also requires a lot of cleanup in comparison to an FDM printer. FDM printing is one of the most common forms of 3D printing, and mainly because it's one of the most affordable and easiest to use. FDM printers and filament are generally more affordable, making it a cost-effective option for creating large terrain pieces. Many FDM printers have bigger build plates, allowing for bigger terrain pieces to be printed at one time. FDM printers are typically more robust, making them more suitable for larger and more functional terrain pieces, especially if you're going to assemble them or move them around. But FDM printers struggle to create the same level of detail as a resin printer, making the layer lines much more visible. So here's a quick comparison chart between FDM printers and resin printers. Painting your terrain. Painting is a critical part of creating realistic terrain. Here's a step-by-step guide. Priming. Use spray primer to create a base layer that paint can adhere to. Choose a color that complements your terrain, like gray or black. Base coating. Apply the base colors using acrylic paint. Use larger brushes for broad areas and smaller brushes for details. Dry brushing. Highlight details by lightly brushing a lighter shade of the paint over the surface. Washes. Apply wash, then down paint to add depth and shadows. Detailing. Add finer details like grass, moss, or water effects using specialty paints or materials. Integrating electronics into your terrain can make it even more immersive, and it may be easier than you think. In the case of this portal, we're using an old iPhone to play an MP4. It's simple but effective, but also gives that Castle Grayskull He-Man vibe to this portal. Now, here are a few ideas to integrate electronics into your realistic looking 3D landscape. Use LED light strips or individual lights to add lighting to your terrain. In caves and tunnels, you can place LEDs to simulate torches or magical glows. In buildings, you can light up windows and doors to have a lived-in feel. Arduino projects. Integrating simple Arduino projects can add dramatic effect. You could use them to create doors that open or platforms that rise using servos. You can also use sound modules to play ambient noise or trigger specific sounds during gameplay. So one of the other things you need to think about is what is going to be your power source to power those electronics. Those power sources could be batteries or even a USB, but make sure if you're designing a model or you're even downloading a model, that those wires or those batteries can be neatly hidden inside of your model in order to create a more realistic terrain. If you're not into designing your own 3D models, there are a ton of places online you can download them, including Thingiverse, Cults 3D. This model is actually from Loot Studios, which is one of my favorite places to get things like this. as well as Patreon. Many amazing 3D artists have exclusive terrains in their Patreon, and that is a great way to support them. Whether you're using an FDM printer or a resin printer, a great paint job and adding electronics into your realistic terrain can really enhance your gameplay. For more on 3D printing, DIY, and maker projects, make sure you like and follow Maker Build It, and remember, keep on making.